Good Friday morning. Wow, this week just flew by. It's incredible. In studio, guest hosting today is my friend Grace Ann Blake, Caddo Parish Commissioner, local business owner. I'm not going to tell the story. I want you to tell the story. Tell people who Grace Ann Blake is. If they say, who is this woman?
I'm a mom, I'm a friend, I'm a wife. I own a hair salon for 28 years. I've been a stylist for 35 years in our community. I'm a Caddo Parish Commissioner, and now I'm the Queen of Centaur.
I forgot about that.
That's the newest hat that I'm wearing is a crown.
It really is a crown. You really wore your crown.
I did.
That's
it's very sparkly.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, you and I have been very close friends for a long time.
We have.
A long, long time. I'm not going to muck around that. We have been very close. You've been there for me in hard times. I hope I've been there for you in hard times. But you and I both know you have a job to do. I have a job to do.
Yes.
I was at dinner with some friends of ours, some mutual friends the other night, and they said, why are you always so hard on her? And I said, well, she and I both know that we each have a job to do.
Right. And we're like that off air. I mean, let's make that clear. We have girls' night together quite often, and we're doing what you do on air in private. We're having the same conversations, the hard conversations.
Yes. Sharing
thoughts, ideas, and, and that's what's great, I think, about our society is we get to all have a different viewpoint and opinion and what's important. And I think you are a fact-driven person. I'm a fact-driven person. Mm-hmm. And so, sharing facts is important. And, so, yeah, I mean.
And if I think you've done something stupid, do I call you out on it? Do I say?
Oh, I get lots of text messages at all hours of the morning and night saying, excuse me,
what
Grace
were
Ann?
you thinking?
What were you thinking? And sometimes I'm like, well, and then other times I'm like, hey, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm Grace Ann.
Right.
And so I am who I am. I do have strong opinions. I am not perfect. And I like to say, I want to do what's right when it's the right thing to do and when no one's looking to do what's right. But when I don't do what's right, I like to try to correct myself. And I'm constantly in a learning curve in life. I think we all are.
Let's talk about your personal life. You have two amazing children.
Thank you.
They are grown adults now.
Thank you.
One still lives here. One lives in the Houston area, I believe.
Yes. She's married. Both of my children became pilots. My daughter took a change of course and wanted to be a school teacher and a stay-at-home wife eventually. And my son is now a full-time pilot, Army National Guard, just graduated LSUS with an accounting degree.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Great kid.
And you live in the Broadmoor area?
I do. I've lived in Broadmoor since I was 18 years old. I lived in 12 Oaks, kind of a cusp of Broadmoor, for about 10 years. And I came back to Broadmoor. I wanted to downsize, a smaller footprint, and get nearer to my hair salon.
You and I took a drive one day. You were helping me after a medical visit where I wasn't allowed to drive. Mm-hmm. And so we took a drive before I was going to a doctor's appointment, I think. Mm-hmm. And you took a drive through the area around the old Shreveport Country Club.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up where you used to live.
Yeah, so I'm from West Side. I grew up on Pines Road. As a really young child, my family lived in Queensboro. So I literally Christmas caroled through Queensboro as a child. We went to Queensboro Baptist Church. Mm-hmm. It's now, I believe, Job Corps.
Okay.
And, yeah, I went to high school, Huntington High School, also Magnet. My parents got divorced when I was young, and my father was a narcotics agent for the government. So there was a lot of weird travel that was very military style.
Right.
I might live somewhere for 3 months or 6 months, but Shreveport was home base. My grandfather was chief of police in the early 70s, and he also was an FBI agent. He came here in the 40s at a really unique time when he was dealing with the mafia and the Klan. So I have a really unusual childhood, but yeah, Pines Road was my stomping ground. I also lived in Bethany for a hot minute, too.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. And you and Jason have been married for a long time. I think you have now that Bo is gone, rest in peace, my baby Bo, I think you have my two favorite dogs in Shreveport. I have some grandpuppies, but in Shreveport, I think you have my two favorite dogs.
Well, we have Lucy, and I call her like the pretty little clown dog. She's so full of life. She's a poodle doodle something mix.
Yes.
She's a hot mess. And her real name is Luciana. So she's my little Louisiana girl. And then we have Jeb, and we call him Jebby. We adopted him from the animal
the shelter
control. Yeah, from the shelter.
Full disclosure, I've tried to steal Jeb, and they won't let me. He
sleeps on top of me every night, and he is as big as I am. And he is a true farm dog that we rescued. It was, literally his last day.
Okay.
My husband saw him late at night on Facebook and said, there's this dog we have to save, and I want everybody in Caddo Parish to be willing to save a dog. Get out there, and it's a real serious need. It's an issue, and it's something that as a Caddo Parish commissioner that, we deal with.
Absolutely. When we come back, we're going to talk about a big meeting y'all are having today. I want to find out more about that. Lots to discuss this morning with Grace Ann Blake right here on KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, I'm going to have to text the mayor of Blanchard because I just got an email. Herndon Magnet is closed today because of very low water pressure as a result of a water main issue that started yesterday with the Blanchard water system. So I'll call Mayor Galambos here in a little bit. I'll send him what's my text message, Ruben? It's you up?
You up?
You up? We'll see what he says because he'll give us an update on the water. What is it impacting and all that. Our in-studio guest host today is Grace Ann Blake, a dear friend of mine and a friend of the show. I think you listen every morning.
Yeah, I've listened to you for years and years and years and years.
And you even listen, which is one of the things. I have a couple of friends who have texted me from the beach. You're one of them.
Oh, yeah, I love the app.
Text me from the beach. You're listening on the app.
I listen to you when I'm in Italy, when I'm at the beach.
Wow.
I listen to you all the time.
That is so
When I go into work super early, I have it on in my lounge so I can hear you there.
Wow. Yeah. You're definitely one of our regular listeners. The Caddo Commission has an interesting meeting today. I believe you're holding it at the Walter B. Jacobs Nature Center.
We are. Today at 11:15, we're going to have an intergovernmental meeting, bringing the parish, school board, sheriff's office, local legislators, come in to share what's going on in our community. But then at 1:30, we're going to be unveiling the information, the facts, and what we're doing with the sports complex to share to the public. So all that information's finally coming out to the public and, unveiling dates for across our community for town hall meetings to share, about
the
initiative.
We have drawings of it. Do you know if we're going to have some drawings that will be unveiled?
Yes, there are drawings. I think these are like conceptual at this point.
Right.
Part of the thing is in understanding how governance works. You can't just say, here's the plans.
Right.
We have to have it approved. And then you would have a design that then would come out. So we have, some conceptual ideas. So, yeah.
Now, the multi-sports complex, it has to be voted on by the people.
It does.
It's planned to be on the November ballot, correct?
Correct.
And that's for a bond
November
issue.
3rd.
The total amount is at 60 million we'd be approving?
60 million.
But it could cost as much as 70, 75, but you'll have that other money, right?
Correct.
Or you'll have private investment.
Correct.
To come in. We've talked about some preliminary locations. Have we honed in on a specific site that y'all like best at this point?
I don't know if there's an exact location at this point. There are a lot of moving parts with understanding the realty, the pros and cons for the land use and, making sure that some of the areas they would have to make sure that the infrastructure's there for electricity, water, some removing trees. Mm-hmm. So there's logistics involved. And so, today we might find that out.
Right. Let me ask you the elephant in the room question, which you hear all the time. Why don't you fix the roads before you build a $70 million multi-sports complex? What is wrong with you knuckleheads?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. I appreciate that.
I know you love that question.
I love that question. So we cannot fix city roads. And our parish roads are top notch. Some of the finest work out there. What we can do is we can create an entity that's going to put tax revenue into our community. And that's how we can help with infrastructure issues such as water, helping the community with roads and also with issues with, funding, the police department, the fire department from tax revenue. That is money spent in the community. I'm going to ask you that I'm not going to shy away from the hard questions. I know you know that. Are we too late to the party? Is it too early for a glass of wine for my girls' night?
Are we too late to the party for a multi-sports complex? Ruston's got one.
No.
You think there's room for more?
I do. Let's talk about this. I love business. I love McDonald's and Burger King are a great example where you see one, you have another. Business brings in more business.
But on Uri Drive, they both closed.
Well, they moved a little further out and they're there. So,
okay.
But the truth is we have a corridor that the studies have been done. We have a huge area that we can bring people into. And, there are local people that want to spend their money here as well. So that's another part of the conversation. We want to bring in the tourists, but we also want our people here to have quality of life projects as well.
Right. Now, let me, and you maybe can explain it. I know I can help a little bit if you need help. This is not raising my taxes. Explain that, please.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so this is. I want John Atkins to make a phone call. He's so great at explaining bonds. So I'm going to give you layman's, verbiage here. It's like getting a very low interest loan that we are going to pay back. And so we're
with the revenue that the
complex is. That's exactly right. With the revenue that's coming in. And so we don't have to raise taxes to do this. And this is a real important factor.
If the revenue doesn't come in, then we are on the hook to pay it back.
Correct. But we're talking years and years of opportunity for that to happen. And so, this is something that we have missed for 45 years is opportunities of bringing in quality of life projects and helping to invest in the community. And so I just think this is such a huge win opportunity. I just want to share the information so people know what's going on.
1:30 is the meeting at the Walter B. Jacobs Nature Center. Folks will have a chance to ask questions.
To come.
They can ask questions and see the designs, etc.
And Walter B. Jacobs is a perfect location to have it so people can see how the parish has spent the money when the voters wanted a quality of life project. So they can see firsthand, how well these projects are done.
1:15 this afternoon. Everybody welcome. Go out and look and see. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, we know the meeting starts at 1:30. I'm going to tell you an inside joke, okay? The meeting today at Walter B. Jacobs actually starts at 1:30. But if you know Grace Ann Blake, you know that she can occasionally be running late.
Look, I'm coming in hot. That's all. I'm a busy woman.
So when they have meetings, they tell her 15 minutes early. So she'll be there on time. Truth, right?
Might be. Might be.
So the meeting's at 1:30. But if you get there at 1:15, you'll have your crown.
And I would love to meet everybody, and we can talk about Mardi Gras. We can talk about the information for the sports complex. I can talk to you about your hair.
Take pictures. My hair, by the way, is growing so fast. It's incredible.
It's so curly.
It is so curly.
It's so curly.
I got a little afro. But you'll have your crown. People can take pictures with the queen.
Yeah.
1:30 is the meeting today. Walter B. Jacobs Nature Center. And the Caddo Commission is going to be unveiling kind of the sports complex and all that. When we come back, we're going to talk Mardi Gras. And we're going to talk, there's been a little brouhaha this week with regard to the crew of Highland. And you are the queen of Centaur, so you're going to be a little biased. I get that. But I know all these Mardi Gras crew members are, they're in a tizzy about what the heck's going on. So we'll try to get to the bottom of that and figure out what's happening. That is when we come back right here, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
And now, let's get back to the show with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. And on the KEEL app.
That just sounds weird to me, Reuben. It's going to take a minute for me to get used to this McCarty in the morning.
I'm not used to it either.
I'm not. and I will tell you all that I spoke to Mike Martindale yesterday. We had a lengthy conversation, and I did have to apologize to him. I said, I do need to apologize to you, Mike. And he said, what for? I said, well, I killed you Monday. I pronounced you dead. And he goes, what? And I said, well, when I started the show Monday morning, the first show without you, with our new guest, and I said, Mike Martindale is no longer with us. And he just bust up laughing. He goes, pretty typical. And I said, so Reuben had to jump in and go, Mike's not dead.
No, stop. Yeah.
Mike is very much alive and well. And I think Mike has landed another job already. He's very happy. He's doing fine.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited for him, and he and I will chat. In fact, I think he may have to get up earlier than me. So he said one morning he's going to text me, you up?
You up?
So we'll have our you up messages going probably fairly soon. Grace Ann Blake is our guest host this morning, and let's talk Mardi Gras.
Let's talk all things fun and frolic. And
okay.
Mardi Gras.
Folks don't know about this, and you may not know a whole lot about it, but there is a captain's council. And This is the captain from every crew.
Yes.
I believe there are 14 or 15 crews, and they each have a captain.
Correct.
And they have, I guess, routine meetings every so often, and they go over, the bylaws. What are the parades, but what are the crews supposed to do? What are they not allowed to do? Those sorts of things.
Right.
That council of captains met and put the crew of Highland on probation for a couple of things. One was not turning over their membership list, and one was pushing their coronation beyond the October 11th deadline date when everybody had to have that done.
Right.
The punishment, though, is kind of a bad boy. Go to the corner. You don't get your they don't get their free tickets to your balls.
Right.
Doesn't impact the parade.
No.
How big a deal is this? I mean, is this a?
I think what's important is we're on timelines to make sure everybody gets a chance to attend coronations and balls and scheduling of events. And so, there are rules in life. There's regulations. And so this is really, I think more about, hey, guys, we need to make sure we're doing things in order so everyone gets a turn.
Right.
Everyone, it has to work out. And there's logistic issues with the Highland Parade. And y'all talked about it yesterday that it's gotten so big. And trying to make sure everything's managed appropriately. So I don't, this is a fact of life. Of everything.
Right. You are the queen of Centaur this year. You carry the crown with you all. Now, I know the Centaur folks probably don't want you officially speaking for Centaur and what they, but Centaur's a big part of the crew of Highland. Explain that.
So we loan out, rent out, I don't know the exact ins and outs of it. I'm just the beautiful queen.
I get that.
But, so they need floats. And so a lot of people go and attend in a manner of being a part of the parade. And so I think that was also something interesting when they were talking about the members. I didn't realize, then I guess I've been a member of the Highland crew as well because, I've ridden it many times. I did, wanted to ask a question is once you sign up with Highland, do they consider it like a lifetime membership?
No, I think you have an annual.
It's
an annual. So every time you ride, you're considered a member.
Okay.
But he claimed they had 3,900 members, which would probably make them the largest crew in the state of Louisiana. And I think of Bacchus, and I think of Rex, and I think of all the big ones in New Orleans. And I think, they don't have nearly that many members. They don't have nearly as many floats in those parades if you ever go watch. Highland is a long parade.
Right. But because I think everybody comes in and joins in to the parade, and it is a fun parade. I mean, we love all of the crews. They're all so fun and wonderful and all bring a different culture, vibe. It's great.
Now, will your Queen's float from Centaur, will it ride in the Highland Parade? Has that decision been made yet, or do we know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can find out for you.
All right. I'm just curious because I know that the Rose Float, which I rode on for a long time, I know they love to be involved in the Highland Parade. Would Centaur come to the conclusion that if Highland still is, stepping out, they're the kid that won't behave, and everybody says, oh, why is Highland not behaving? Why won't they come to the table? Would there ever come to a point where Centaur says, our floats can't go? Our floats aren't going to that parade.
Boy, howdy, that would be a captain question and not the queen question. I'm going to show up and smile with a crown wherever I'm at and wave.
Yeah, and take 100%. Pictures.
But I think, Michael Lynn said something yesterday. I'm sorry, Matthew. And I do know Matthew. We were talking about Mardi Gras. That's genius about what's going on is we're talking about Mardi Gras, and it's such an important impact to our community. So let's talk about the numbers. Mm-hmm. It's a $20 million total contribution to this community, $10 million direct to tourism, money spent, people getting their hair done for balls. I mean, It's such a huge impact, and it's $700,000 tax revenue to the city of Shreveport, and then $200 to Bossier.
But the mayor of Shreveport has sat right in that chair, and he has told us that the revenue the city gets from Mardi Gras does not pay for the security. He's been very adamant about that.
I think that there are some questions of how we can do a great job of making this really financially work for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's a bad, question to go, what could we do? There's just lots to talk about with that. And, I respect that. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure we're doing it right.
Would you be in favor of, and again, she's not speaking as the Queen of Centaur. She's speaking as Grace Ann Blake, just a local resident, if I may say that.
Sure.
Would you be in favor of it going back to Bossier too?
Ooh. I'm going to wave wherever I'm told to wave. I love Mardi Gras. I remember it.
She's dodging and weaving. Well, she's doing the Muhammad Ali today.
No. I mean, the truth is, I live in Broadmoor. Man, I love the route that we, ride.
You don't want to take it away from the duck pond.
I know. I love it, and the people love it. It's like such a gym. So, yeah, I love where it's at, but I also love Bossier. So that would be a question for Bossier and
the
Shreveport
leadership
to figure out.
One last question, our last 30 seconds or so. How busy is the Queen going to be between now and Parade Day? Is it slammed?
I carry this calendar around before, but now it's by my side for sure. Wow. Everything is scheduled out from now to eternity.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's got a busy schedule. No doubt about it. Grace Ann Blake, our guest host this morning. She's a Caddo commissioner, a business owner, a mom, a wife, and Queen of Centaur. Wow. Lots of hats. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
And now let's get back to the show with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and on the KEEL app.
Ruben, what did I just tell her?
Well, you said you were going to punch her in the mouth.
Didn't I say that?
So I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the door.
Am I allowed to punch her back?
Absolutely.
What's going on here? I don't have wine.
Grace Ann Blake is our guest host this morning.
Punched?
Did I just threaten to punch her?
You did.
Wow. Holy cow, we're buds.
No doubt. Okay.
Here's the question of the day. You ready?
No.
I scared her.
No, I'm not.
Her butt cheeks are clenching.
Friday just went out the door.
You know what tonight is? Saints Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I've got to ask you the question to determine whether or not you can stay the rest of the show.
Okay.
Saints or Cowboys?
I was a Saints.
Okay.
Yeah, I love watching the Saints. I'm not into sports at all.
Right.
But I am going to watch the Saints till I die. And I have been watching them my whole life. I love the Saints. And I love a Bloody Mary while watching the Saints. Now, I recently found out about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders coming out to Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Oh.
So I'm going to watch the opening of every Cowboys game at this point.
Just to see
catch
that.
Yeah, I mean, I love hair and makeup, but I love some rock and roll. Mm-hmm. But no,
Is it
I'm
really
a Saints
true
fan.
You were at the game. You were at the Super Bowl when the Saints won?
I was in Miami. Okay, I was I was on a boat. Watching the sunset, and then came off of the boat and finished watching at a bar in Key West.
So you weren't in the stadium?
I was not in the stadium.
Okay.
My husband actually had to fly some people there. And
so you were hanging with the ritzy crowd.
And let me tell you, watching the Saints, we were actually the only Saints fan that were in that bar, and I was screaming on the table.
Oh, my
That was one of the
gosh.
funnest games ever.
Wow.
So we saw a beautiful sunset. I'm always chasing a sunset in life. So I saw a beautiful sunset and then got to watch the Saints. And Jason got to watch the Saints fly in, and they did water hoses over the airplane. And he has some of the coolest pictures with Drew Brees and Shockley.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Very huge guy.
Wow.
Such a huge guy. So, yeah, I love the Saints. And so, yeah, I can't talk to you about what I'm watching.
Right.
But I'm jumping up and down like a cheerleader.
Okay. Now, it's not that you don't like the Cowboys, correct? You have to say you like the Cowboys or you'll be in trouble in this city.
I do not like the Cowboys.
Did she just say that out loud?
And let me tell you.
Your fellow commissioners are going to hurt you now.
I am upset that for years and years and years, we couldn't watch the Saints game. And we had to watch the Cowboys.
I know.
And we're Louisiana. I'm a Louisiana girl through and through.
Right.
So I'm in love with LSU and the Saints.
Wow. Okay. I like the Cowboys too. I do like the Cowboys too. But if it's Saints-Cowboys, I'm all Saints.
Good
all
for you.
Saints.
Good. We can be friends. We don't have to have a fist fight.
Okay. No punching in the nose.
No punching.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I was in the K&B bags.
I'm still going to kick your shins at,
times. She's threatening violence. Can we get Chief Smith on the phone, please? Or Sheriff Whitehorn?
They're going to have to interview both of you.
I'm definitely going to have to interview both of us. There's no doubt about that. Lee Jeter's going to join us in studio. They have a really cool event coming up next week that we hope you will attend. It's for a great cause, and we want to talk more about that when we get back right here, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. I'm so excited. So excited. We've got a special guest in studio with us, Lee Jeter, who is here for a couple of reasons today. Grace Ann Blake is my guest co-host. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You guys have crossed paths over the years.
Yes.
You and I have crossed paths a zillion times probably.
Yes.
We want to talk about the Kiwanis event that's coming up next week on Tuesday. It's the Middle School Jamboree, right?
That is correct, and I want to thank you for allowing us to be here this morning. It is my pleasure to be in search company of two beautiful women on this early morning.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
The Middle School Jamboree, where's this going to be held, and who can show up and be there?
Well, the Middle School Jamboree is on September the 1st. It is held at Airline High School. The gates will open at 4:30 p.m. with the cheerleaders starting their performance, cheerleaders and dance time at 5, and then at 6 o'clock sharp, the football games will start. And so it is open to the public. This is the major fundraiser for the Kiwanis Club of Shreveport Bossier. And what people have to understand is that every dollar that we raise from the Jamboree goes back into our community to support the children of our community. Key clubs, middle school builders clubs, terrific kids program, bugs program, scholarships. Every dollar raised by the Kiwanis Club goes back into the community.
What's the price at the gate?
The price at the gate is $5 per person. All children that are 5 and under, they get in free. Mm-hmm. But everyone else pays $5 at the gate.
Now, I want to ask you, there's a lot of middle schools in Bossier. They're all participating pretty much for the most part, right?
All of the middle schools in Bossier, Green Acres, Hardin, Elm Grove, Ben. And Ben is such a large middle school. It has two teams, Ben Purple and Ben White, Russian Middle School. The only middle school in Bossier that does not compete in the Jamboree is Plain Dillon, because Plain Dillon is a small school and some of their eighth-grade students are also having to play junior varsity to make sure they have enough for practice.
Okay. Now, explain a Jamboree. These are shortened games. It's just kind of to get into the season, get warmed up. Is that kind of how this is going to be?
That is correct. 2 8-minute half. Each game will consist of 2 8-minute half. The first game starts at 6, and Green Acres will be playing Hardin. Webster High School, which is Webster Parish, Webster Junior High School, will be playing Elm Grove. Ben Purple will be playing Cope, and then the Ben White team will be playing Russian Middle School to round out the 4 games that will be played in the Jamboree.
Now, you don't have to have a youngster. And that's the thing that I love about our community. If you like football and you want to see some of these kids before they become high school superstars, come out and see them on Tuesday.
And that's what the public doesn't realize sometimes. A lot of the kids that have been successful at the high school level and Caddo and Bossier, they got their start in middle school with those middle school football coaches mentoring and teaching them, giving them basics. And I know I used to coach Bossier Park recreational football. But when you get into the middle school, a lot of these guys that we're seeing on Sunday, they got their start in middle school. And I don't think the middle school coaches get enough credit for the investment they put in these young men.
I would hazard to bet you that Dak Prescott has played in this very jamboree.
Exactly. Dak and Mr. Marshall down at Parkway and some of the others that have gone on that we look forward to seeing on Sunday afternoon.
Wow. Now, Airline High, it's Tuesday. Grace Ann, you have another question?
Yeah. So if somebody can't make the jamboree, how could people donate to this cause?
They can always send a donation to the Kiwanis Club for Shreveport Bossier to our post office box 688 Shreveport, Louisiana, and make a donation that way. We've got a lot of sponsors because we have sponsors that have supported Jamboree. They have ads in the Jamboree, and we're going to be announcing those over their announcement speaker during the game. And then we have a program. We're listing all of those sponsors in the program, but anyone else that would like to support us, they can always send us a donation, or they can call me at 318-230-5678. Tell me they're going to send a donation, and I will make sure that the announcer throughout the game announce them as a sponsor. It's too late to get in the program booklet, but I can still make the announcement that they're a sponsor of the 57th Shreveport Bossier Kiwanis Club Middle School Football Jamboree.
And that's Tuesday, Airline Stadium, gates open at 4:30. The games all start at 6. Will we be done? How late do you think it'll go?
We try to keep them on time because it is a school night, so we're hoping that the games will start on time and we'll be done by 8 so that those students can get home and get ready for their early day on the next day at school.
Okay, Lee Jeter, put your other hat on because when we come back, I want to talk about the Fuller Center. It's kind of your baby.
That is my baby.
And I've got to talk with you about that because you guys do some amazing work, and we need to shine a spotlight on what you're doing. And that is coming up next, if you don't mind.
I don't mind, and I'm looking forward to it. And again, thank you, and Grace Ann, for allowing me to be here this morning.
More with Lee Jeter when we get back right here, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Back with Lee Jeter, who's executive director of the Fuller Center for Housing in our area.
Lee, tell us how did you get involved, and what exactly does a Fuller Center do for our community?
It really was a faith walk through ministry. I met Mr. Millard Fuller when he first came to town in 2005. I was running a youth program with another nonprofit, and we helped him build the first 10 houses in Allendale, and then we went to Katrina and gutted some houses in Katrina, and they were looking for someone with local connection and local roots to run the organization, and the Lord sent me there. And it was just walking in the steps in the direction that the Lord has guided me, and we've been here since 2005 building homes for low to moderate income families and trying to help individuals lift themselves up out of poverty through home ownership. And we want to do away with all of this adjudicated property we got in the city and put it back into commerce and put people back into homes, affordable homes, and that is the key.
Who's eligible to get a Fuller Center home?
Any low to moderate income client. We get a application for them. We look at their credit and their debt because we're looking at their debt to credit ratio to see if they can afford to be a home ownership. And if they pass all of those tests and they're willing to do what we require them to do, is a number of hours of sweat equity, our 10 first-time home buyers class, credit, budget and financial management classes on wheels and succession. We want to create generational wealth, and we want them to be able to pass the property down to another generation.
I love that. And so you have an event coming up tomorrow.
That is correct. We have a financial management seminar coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Fuller Center, and we'll be talking about budgeting, managing your money, but we'll also be talking about homeowners insurance, life insurance. We'll be talking about wills and succession, because it's one thing to have a property, but once someone that has that property pass it on, the family often don't have enough money to be able to file a succession. We want to tell them how we can do that, how we can help them do that, because currently we're doing free wills and succession because of a grant that we got from a generous donor.
Wow. Lee Jeter with the Fuller Center, you and I maybe it was 20 years ago, I'm not sure, back when we were in our 30s. Stop laughing.
Well, I'm still in my 30s.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We were at a home in the Stoner Hill neighborhood, and when you say sweat equity, I walked and I toured that home, and I saw the future owner of that home actually helping paint, helping, do scraping and all that. You have to, if you want one of these homes, you want to be part of this program, you have to get in and help. And it's not lip service. I was actually watching them paint and do stuff. That's part of the deal.
That is correct. You must put in some sweat equity. We want the homeowners to learn how to maintain their home. And the more sweat equity they put in the house, the more that they learn, the more they're going to be able to maintain the home. So I use a simple story that if a screw is loose, you need to tighten the screw. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, it's going to get looser, something's going to fall off, and then now you've got a bill that you may not be afford to pay. And if you can't afford to pay that bill, then it's going to continue to be in disarray. We want that broken window stereo to be in effect. If you see something broken, we want you to be able to fix it.
That hit me between the eyes that day, and I will never forget it, because I talked to that homeowner who said and his wife was there too, said, we're going to take pride in this home. We're going to keep it up. We're going to mow the yard. We're going to make sure our home looks good, because this was a gift to us, a kind of a gift from God. That's kind of how they felt.
That was one of the first veteran homes that we built in Stoner Hill, and we got a great grant from Roger Waters or Pink Floyd, and to help us build those first 4 homes. And we partner with our other organizations in the community, the Volunteers of America, the Providence House, and some of the other nonprofits that deal with individuals that are low income, that are coming out of poverty, that need a home. And if they're eligible, we will do everything to work with them. And that's the key. We're not going to give them a handout. We're going to give them a hand up, and they're going to have to put some equity and sweat in to make sure they're homeowners. They're not getting a free home. They still have to have some financial investment too, though, right? And they pay a mortgage. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is not a free. They have a mortgage, but what we ensure is their mortgage is no more than 1/3 of their disposable income, because we carry the funds. We're the mortgagee. We're the bank. We can set their mortgage where it's affordable to them, because we want them to have that home. We want that next generation to grow up in a home. And one of the stories that I have, and I'll tell that when you finish.
Lee, share with us how people find you in this program. It's such an important thing that you're doing. This is truly being the hands, the feet for the people of this community, and then asking people in return to give back. So how do people reach out to find out about this?
They have to get an application for us. They can either download it off our website, www.fullercenternwla.org, or they can come by our office and get an application. That's where everything starts at. And when they come by our office, you're going to see our surplus store. We don't accept any government funds in the construction of our homes. We'll accept some for infrastructure work, the tying the water and sewer, but not for the actual nails and lumber that go into the home. And so we have a surplus store at 4221 Linwood that we sell surplus building supplies, materials that are donated to us by generous donors, individuals that are doing remodeling, that are tearing things out. They donate those things to us. We sell them to the general public, and all of those funds go back into the ministry to help us build houses for low to moderate income families.
That's incredible.
Yes, it's a great program. Do you have a waiting list? I'm worried you do.
We do. We have a waiting list right now of about 11 applicants, but that doesn't mean anything, because, again, part of it is this sweat equity. They must put in the time and effort. They must attend the classes that we require them to attend. And so it's possible that someone could be number 5 on the waiting list, and number 1 is lacking. They're just not putting in the energy to do what they're supposed to do. Number 5 can jump over number 1, because we're only going to put you in a home if you're ready.
Yeah.
We'll qualify you, but you got to put the work in to become a homeowner.
Right.
You got to save money. You got to go to financial management classes. You got to know what it takes to be a homeowner because we're not charging any interest.
Right.
And you and I, we paid interest on our home. If we could get with full center home like the applicants that we're doing, but we're trying to help those that we consider the least in our community, those that are living at or below the poverty level.
Lee Jeter, the Fuller Center, and the Kiwanis. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you, Erin, and thank you, Grace. And it is my pleasure to be with you two young ladies this morning. Thank you so very much.
Thanks for being here. We sure appreciate it. The mayor of Blanchard, Jim Galambo, is going to join us next. They're having some water woes up there. What's the problem? How soon will they have it fixed? He is coming up in about 10 minutes right here on KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Real quick here, because we're going to be joined by the mayor of Blanchard coming up next. Herndon's Middle School, no school today because of no water. We're going to figure out what's going on in Blanchard coming up in just a couple of minutes. But Grace Ann Blake, guest co-hosting today. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We have, you and I are friends. We go back a long ways. We have a lot of mutual friends, and we have kind of an agreement among us that we are going to be buying these lottery tickets.
Yeah.
And you immediately say you are not doing what the next day?
I am not going to work. I love all of my clients. You can come with me wherever I go to have a great getaway, and I'll do your hair there, but I'm not going to work the next day.
You're calling
or the
in
next
sick.
week. I'm calling in sick for a long time. I have a whole salon full of hairstylists, so we'll be just getting our hair done together.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I can't say that I wouldn't be at work. Here's my problem. I would probably come to work and keep it quiet. I think the only
you have serious plans on what you're doing, and I question everything about you after I found out you have rules.
I do.
About what you're going to dole out to your friends. I'm giving all my stuff away probably, as long as I have a Bloody Mary and a chance to run away the beach now and then and float in my little pool.
Yes.
I'm happy. But
I just wouldn't leave my employers. If I called in today and said I'm not coming in next week, I'm not sure what they do. I'm not sure Ruben would know, oh, God, what are we going to do? So I would take care of work for a couple of weeks. They wouldn't know anything about it. I'd start lining it up, and then I'd go and give them a little bit of a notice. But
you have like everything lined up.
Yeah, and I do have a mean streak in me. So there are going to be a few people that are going to get $1,000 check. If I win $100 million, there's a few people that are on my shizzle list who are going to get $1,000 check, and that's going to be me middle fingering them. Hey,
ooh, you're
I'm
like in a bad
you.
mood today.
Yeah, I'm grouchy today, aren't I?
You should chill out.
I'm sorry, my bad. Oh boy, I wouldn't want to.
What's in your coffee?
Imagine if somebody won $100 million and they give you $1,000. Ooh,
that's kind of mean.
Yeah, that is kind of mean. I love it. Jim Galambos, the mayor of Blanchard, he is going to join us next on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. A little bit of water woes in Blanchard. Do they have it fixed? What's the status? We will have the mayor joining us next right here on KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
On the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline, I love this guy because he's always willing to jump in. He got my "you up" text this morning. What time was that, Mayor Jim Galambo? Said I sent you the "you up."
Oh, I don't know. Probably 6, about 7 o'clock or so. I don't know. I was up, but the phone is not my. phone is not my first thing I grab.
I get it. I understand. Got to get the coffee, maybe some breakfast. Got to brush the teeth. I get it.
There you go. I'm here now, though.
I got a message. Grace Ann Blake is our co-host this morning, so she may have a question or two for you.
Good morning, Mayor.
Sure.
Let me ask you. Got a message from the school board. They were shutting down Herndon School today because of water woes. You had a water main break. Where was this? What caused it?
Well, yesterday about 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30, one of the many fiber installers we have in our system outside the town of Blanchard on 169, not too far from our water plant, and they hit one of our 20-inch lines, which carries the bulk of our water to the main distribution system. We immediately got welder contractors out there. They by 11 o'clock, 11:30, they were cutting the old pipe that broke, and by 4 o'clock, we turned the water back on. Now, at that time, all of our 5 million gallons in our distribution system drained. It takes about 4 hours to fill those pipes up throughout the distribution system. There's a lot of miles of pipes.
Gotcha.
And the tank started filling up about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And before we can open up the rest of the system, like up in Bossier City or the Belcher area, we have to charge our system so we have enough pressure to push it. We started doing that about 7 o'clock, and it's a slow process. We have to wait till Oil City pressure's back up. And throughout the night, we were building, been monitoring the tank levels. Everything looked good. They do have water up there, but I talked to the superintendent this morning, and they don't have enough pressure coming out probably to fill their cooking requirements and needs, and yet we both know it's going to get better throughout the day. But he took the safe side, which I agree with, and they closed the school.
Any homes in that area having low pressure? I would assume it's impacting some homes around Herndon.
No. That I don't know. We haven't heard from anybody yet. Those people out there are pretty resilient. They don't really complain too much, but we have to feed Oil City we feed Herndon School through Oil City. So it's a slow process to get it there. This is not an unusual expectation for Herndon School. Plus, they've got some issues within the school that they take care of, like bleeding the lines out and getting the air out.
Mayor, can you tell us, sorry to interrupt, but can you tell us, are y'all under a boil advisory? And if so, for how long?
Yes, ma'am. We're on a boil advisory. We have to take samples, send them into the state, which is here local, and it'll probably be 2, maybe 3 days. We should hear something back probably by Sunday and release it.
So we want to make sure everyone knows to boil their water at least through Sunday.
Well, it's an advisory.
Okay. It's not mandatory, right?
Not mandatory, no, ma'am.
Okay, let me put this out there because you've seen it, you've heard it. All these rumor mills. Amazon did this. It was Amazon. They're building that data center, and they busted a water line. Not true at all. You please dispel that.
Well, I'm not too certain who the contractor was or who he worked for at this point, so I really don't know. I was not out there trying to put out fires. My job is to prevent it from happening again. I immediately called the parish and talked to Erica Bryant, the administrator, and I'm going to get back with her this afternoon. I'd like to have a meeting with them because we really have no jurisdiction over the contractors working outside of the Blanchard city limits. And even though we do ask them to come in, let us know where they're working, we've got 5 different companies out there putting in fiber. Last weekend on Thursday, they broke another line on 169 crossing into Fur Road. It took the contractors 2 days to repair it because we had to do a new bore. And it was an 8-inch line. I'm sorry, it was a 4-inch line, and they replaced it. And even over the weekend, we started getting some little leaks. You got to remember now the ground is awful dry, and the ground shifts with the clay and the soil that we have, and these old pipes just pull away from where they're joined.
Mayor, let me ask you a question. So, can you share with us about the impact from the data centers with your water woes? Because y'all have really been through it this past year with issues with water.
No, ma'am. No, we haven't.
No.
I dispelled that. We had a problem in February because of the cold.
Okay.
But since February, ma'am, we haven't had no issues. So I wish you would quit saying things like that.
Okay.
Let's get the facts straight.
Let me ask you
first and get the facts straight. No, ma'am.
Let me ask you another question, Mayor. The location where this break happened, is this in the area where the data center is going in?
No, ma'am. It's out there on 169 in Morningsport. So the data center itself hasn't started putting in any water lines, hasn't started doing anything, as far as I know. Now, like I said, yesterday my job was to make sure we can get a meeting together with the parish and to come up with a plan to keep these fiber optic installers at bay. Okay,
Right.
We have no, what we'd like to do is we'd like in Blanchard, if they cut a line in Blanchard, we immediately suspend the job for the day. We don't want them going out there after we've been out there working and do anything else. We've got to get the system charged up. And that's the same rules that we want them to follow in the parish.
So let's make it clear, Mayor Jim Galambos, that these could be fiber optic installers for completely other projects. Could be for expanding broadband in the area, right?
That's exactly what it is. It's
Okay.
part of that gumbo project, expanding it could be. That I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm not here to lay blame on anybody.
Right.
I'm here to make sure and get with the parish so that we can make sure that things like this, when they do happen, they are going to happen. These old water lines that we have, some of these water lines out there on 169 are over 60 years old.
Right, and aren't
they
y'all
don't
going to
have,
receive
they don't
funds?
have tracing wire in them, ma'am.
Right.
Let me
Aren't
finish.
y'all
We
gonna-
don't have tracing. Ma'am, you're interrupting.
Sorry, sir.
We don't have tracing wire in the pipes, so we can't locate them with metal detectors. So we have to have the contractor's pothole, which means every 50 yards they dig a hole, find the water main by hand, and then they line it up with their boring machine. Okay? So now you can go ahead.
Right. So tell us about aren't y'all going to receive approximately $80 million to help with some of these issues from the data centers?
I don't know the exact amount, ma'am. It changes every day.
Okay.
But they do have some projects planned in their water services agreement that they signed. They're responsible for
the upgrades,
putting in the infrastructure and the upgrade of some things. One thing that they're going to be doing is when they run their water line down State Line Road, we're going to join it into a 4-inch line on a fur road, but they're going to lay a new 8-inch line and replace that old 60-year-old line. It's going to run all the way to downtown Blanchard, where it's going to hook into our main distribution system. And what we'll have in the future then is a loop system, which the state LDH loves because we can push water in two directions. And something like this that happened yesterday, we can avoid because we can just start pushing water in the opposite direction.
Mayor Jim Galambos,
yes, ma'am.
Before we wrap up, what is your message to Blanchard residents today with regard to water? What message do you want everybody to hear loud and clear?
That the Blanchard water system is in great shape. We have a lot of fiber installers out here. I've got 2 in my neighborhood today, and we're watching them. I don't have enough men to put with every crew.
Right.
That's something that we're asking the parish. But, overall, I think our system is in great shape. We've got some great people that work for us. We've got some great contractors, and we're here to make sure that the water keeps on flowing every day.
Boil advisory, though, in effect until you get the all clear from the health department, correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. Thank you.
You bet. Mayor Jim Galambos, thank you so much. Let us know when you get into Buc-ee's, please.
Well, again, we're trying over there. We do have a Love's, though.
I know you got a lot of growth up there. You got a lot of growth.
We got a lot of growth, and we've got a big project, some water systems. In fact, in the next few weeks, we're going to be starting we're building a new wastewater plant. Senator Jenkins got us $5.5 million for that project through the state capital outlay. We're going to be starting that project very shortly. And we've also got two of our elevated tanks have to be painted. They've got some rust spots on them, so we've got that project starting. And so we've got a lot going on, and which is good. Which is good to have good projects that will ensure that our infrastructure is always in great shape.
Absolutely. Mayor Jim Galambos, Town of Blanchard, thanks for your time, sir. We appreciate you always being available.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay. Grace Ann Blake is in studio, guest hosting with me today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
2 hours almost flew by, didn't it? It's crazy.
Yes.
You guys, you're on the parish commission. You're one of the Caddo parish commissioners.
I'm on the commission.
Y'all are, yeah, I can fix that better. Edit that out, Ruben. Let's fix that. You're having a meeting today. at the Walter B. Jacobs Nature Center.
Yes.
Public's invited. Explain what's going to be happening.
At 1:30, we are going to be unveiling the information about the sports complex.
We'll see some drawings, some renderings. I mean, this is not the final plan because you can't get architectural drawings when you don't have the money approved yet.
Correct. So these are conceptual designs, and sharing the information of the type of sporting events that we would be, having at the sports complex, how it would be funded, what type of revenue is it going to, bring in?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to ask you the elephant in the room question, okay? A lot of people are not for this multi-sports complex. A lot of people are against it. There are a lot of people that are for it. You're having this meeting at 1:30 in the afternoon. The vast majority of the public is at work at 1:30 in the afternoon and can't get to a meeting like this. You have a series of meetings planned later in September. Am I right about that?
We do. Thanks for sharing that. So, yeah, this is really to get it out to the media, trying to figure. I think we wanted to host it at the location where people could see where the parish has already spent money for a quality of life project, bring all of the media there. But we're going to have in the next few weeks events throughout the community. So we're going to have on the 8th one at LSUS at 5:30 p.m. So those are all going to be in the afternoon.
Okay.
To share the information to the public.
Another on Wednesday, September 9th at Government Plaza. Another Thursday, September 10th at the Greenwood Acres Family Life Center. These all begin at 5:30.
Yes, and you can reach out to your commissioner to get information and set up one for your neighborhood associations. Yes. This is something that we want to make sure that we get the facts out, the information to the people so that people can decide.
The bond issue is going to be on the ballot in November. It's to fund a $60 million revenue bonds.
Yes.
That explain this does not raise taxes on the people at this point, right?
It does not.
It's like a credit card. The parish has pretty good credit, and you're kind of.
I'm going to take you away from the credit card, and it's going to be like a low interest loan.
Okay.
So I don't believe in credit cards. Anyone that's fiscally responsible does not believe in using a credit card unless you really have the means to pay it off and you're using it for, we'll talk about points and rewards.
Sure.
Mario Chavez the other day was doing a great job of explaining, why you would have a credit card.
Right.
And so,
but this
low
is
interest loan.
This is like a Better Business Bureau loan or and then you pay low interest.
Yep.
And the loan is paid back through revenue.
Revenue that this would bring in.
Okay. How are we certain it's going to bring in revenue?
So there's no such thing as a crystal ball, but there's great planning involved in this. And so this has been well planned. We have the demographics and the need.
Okay.
So it really boils down to, we know what this could bring into the community, and it's time that we invest appropriately.
Have your big girl panties on today?
Every day.
Okay. We're going to talk about Hawaii in the 8 o'clock hour. How's that sound? You happy about that?
Did I bring a flower to put in my hair?
Did you bring one of those lei things for me?
I didn't, but I could do a hula dance.
I don't want a hula dance. No, sorry. Okay. Maybe Ruben does, but I don't. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Back in studio, Grace Ann Blake is our guest host today, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me, Erin.
Full disclosure, she and I are friends 25, 30 years, probably.
Long time.
Long time.
Before we were doing Botox.
I don't do Botox. Stop it. I'm not letting that happen. Sorry. That sounds creepy to me. From our message board, Shreveport Security Systems message board, all you have to do if you want to message the show this morning is download the KEEL app. We're not going to send you a whole bunch of junk. It's not that kind of thing. It's just so you can communicate with us on the message board. And we will read some of the messages that have come through today with regard to what we're doing, because we no longer have Mike Martindale as part of the show. And I've been having different voices this week. We're going to figure out what we're doing ultimately. But Grace Ann Blake is the guest host today. I got one message from our friend Jerry. I'm sorry, Erin, the show sucks. I guess he doesn't like us.
Tell us how you feel, Jerry.
Yeah. Your company made a bad decision, and listening to two cackling hens being completely unprofessional is unacceptable.
Whoa.
She was not unprofessional. It's only been me. That's kind of my
Right.
gig.
You're over there trying to beat me up.
I'm the one threatening violence. I'm the one with the bad language. So Ruben has to hit the button because of me. Grace Ann has not been unprofessional. Just FYI. Another message from our pal David. The other end of the spectrum, Grace Ann. Grace Ann sounds great. Love her down-to-earthy honesty. Seems like she's always trying to promote positive for the people of Caddo Parish. That takes a lot of energy. Bless her. Look out, Erin. They might
thank
offer Grace
you,
Ann
David.
a permanent position.
Thank you. Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
So another hat to wear.
Yep. Nothing against any of the other guest hosts, but Chris Redford was the best. Let us know which host you liked best this week.
Chris was good. Really enjoyed listening to Chris.
He absolutely was. Another message. Can't we have a discussion about Mike leaving? It's like he was in our radio 5 days a week, 3 hours a day for several years. Now it's like he never existed. Please, please, I don't want you to think that. We have to move on. We don't have Mike Martindale anymore. I don't know if, and I have mentioned it over and over. I'm sorry you missed it, but Mike Martindale is no longer with us. It was not. Oh, I just said that again.
No longer on the show.
Thank you.
No longer
He's
with us.
He's not dead.
God.
He's alive and
He
well.
lives in my neighborhood.
Twice this week he
I
killed
see
it.
Mike out and about. He's still here.
Mike is fine. Mike is happy. He's doing great. It was not our decision. We were completely shocked by it. He is no longer on the show. He is alive and well. We will miss him. He and our buddies, we talked yesterday. We're going to do lunch next week. So just FYI. Now, down to business. Grace Ann Blake, put your Caddo Parish Commissioner hat on.
I brought a Caddo Parish Mardi Gras bead.
Okay. You went to Hawaii.
I went to Hawaii.
On our dime, you told me you were going to pay for it.
Yes.
Have you paid for it yet?
Not yet. It will be done at the end of the year. So there will be a reconciliation. And so I will then, like when I went
Are
to...
you saying if now? If you might pay for it?
No. When I went to New Orleans for another conference, we are given a check for your food, gas. And so a lot of times I don't cash those. And so that money then would come off of the Hawaii trip.
Okay.
And so, yes, I will 100% be paying for my trip to Hawaii. I personally, this is the deal. These conferences are so important for us to gather information. And, I hate that there's such a mistrust. I can understand where it comes from. I'm a constituent myself, right? And so I want people to be a watchdog of our money. I want people to do what's right. I own a business. I understand wholeheartedly.
How many commissioners went to Hawaii?
4.
4?
4.
I thought 7 were planning to go. Did they some back out?
One had a family crisis.
Okay.
And I honestly don't know about the others.
Okay.
At all.
This was billed as, I'm going to read it to you. This was billed as the Western Interstate Region Conference, hosted by NACO. The Western Interstate Region. Why are Shreveport, Louisiana Caddo commissioners going to a NACO conference that's focused on Western state issues?
So when we go to these conferences, we're going for different subject matter, catastrophe, infrastructure, water. What is the biggest question that we're talking about? We talked about it this morning. And so I know the mayor of Blanchard said there aren't water woes.
The Caddo Commission has nothing to do with water. You guys don't regulate water.
I have to answer a lot of questions. And so I'll just tell you, I went to learn about water. And so
What'd you learn?
About water shedding, water preservation, buying water. There was a fire that took out a whole entire community where we went, and we traveled and learned about the emergency response, and I toured water systems, and I also went to military affair council meetings.
Did you go to the beach?
I went to the beach the first day I arrived on my dime before anything started.
Okay.
And I did the road to Hana and did it on my own.
Did you go to a luau?
Not through Caddo Parish. There was like a dinner that I went to the last night with my husband on my dime.
Okay.
And learned to hula.
Mario Chavez was very clear that he'd gone as a Caddo commissioner. He'd gone to some conferences, and some of his fellow commissioners spent the time at the beach and never even went to a committee hearing.
And
did you spend your whole days at meetings?
I did, and I do this for my own personal life and business, and for the commission, I do that as well. I'm taking notes. I'm learning subjects. I'm getting and gathering information that is pertinent to what we're doing. And, I'm an elected official. I'm working hard to take care of the parish.
I know you don't want to be a snitch, but did some of your fellow commissioners spend some time on the beach when they should have been in meetings?
Not on this trip. And
you saw them all in the meetings.
100%. We actually went to different stuff to make sure we're gathering information, because right now, I would say there's so much growth happening, not just in our state, not just in the city, but our parish as a whole. And so trying to make sure we know what's going on, what we need to do, what we're prepared for, it's so important. And
you have a measure on your books, unless y'all have revoked it, that y'all are supposed to submit reports on these trips, on what you learned at the trip, and was it wise money spent? Do you guys have any reports on this Hawaii trip yet?
So I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't know about how to report. I was listening to Mario speak on this. I do know that we have guidelines for travel, and so we've met all of that travel criteria. And so, I don't know exactly about reports to be given, who they're to be given to. I honestly, I don't, to Erica, to the administration, to, the council as a whole, I don't know about that at all.
Okay. But you will find out, I hope.
I will find out. And, I literally went to learn about watershedding. And I just can only repeat what I've learned and, the information. I want to talk about projects. If you want things done in your community, you have to learn how to do that. And so going to NACO has been a very huge benefit for me in understanding what I can and can't do.
Would you have gone to it if it was in Omaha?
I've been to Tampa, I've been to Pittsburgh, and I've been to New Orleans. We just hosted a conference, and that was all in data centers. So we were there. And so this going to Hawaii and really focusing on understanding water and catastrophes, and then now going to the data center. It's like these conferences I actually have right here. I picked this up. It's a newsletter, and this is all the information for the past quarter from NACO and, getting the information. So these are important conferences.
Gotcha. Grace Ann Blake, maybe we're still friends? Yeah? You answered my question.
I'm ready to arm wrestle you. That's all I got to say.
You got guns, though. I don't have guns. We will be back. I want to talk a little bit with you about the mayor's race, if we can, when we come back.
Okay.
All right. We'll do that next, right here on KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, your seat was hot for the last segment. Grace Ann Blake in studio. Now we're going to keep it a little bit warm still. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay.
All right. She said anything was fair game today. So Grace Ann Blake is a friend of mine. She's co-hosting this morning. Probably going to be back. We will, we're going to have different voices throughout and see how folks like that. And let us know, if you think we're doing a good job or bad job on the Shreveport Security Systems message board. Mayor's race. Everybody is saying it's a 4-horse race. It's current Mayor Tom Arsenault, John Paul Young on the Republican side, and Tammy Phelps, state representative, and Stormy Gage Watts, Caddo commissioner on the Democratic side. You see it shaking out like that too? With those four kind of the top 4 candidates?
Yes. I'm not a betting girl. You know that. Like, I don't gamble. I do buy a lottery ticket 2 or 3 times a year. But, I think it's an interesting time right now. I think our mayor has done an exceptional job, truthfully, as a small business owner.
You endorsed him, correct?
Oh, I did endorse him.
Right.
If you drive past my hair salon, you will see Tom Arsenault. I mean, he came out of the gate really so positive for our community, and it's something that we hadn't felt for many, many, many years, and for many mayors.
In your fellow commissioner, John Paul Young, making some headway, in your opinion, against Arsenault? Do you see that at all or no?
You know, I don't know what to think about TikTok, Instagram. You know, what's going to matter are the people who are going to get out and vote. Whether or not TikTok, viewership is local, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think that social media right now, to me, is very negative. It's not a deciding factor. It's a big mouthpiece for a lot of angry people, but sometimes not for the right information.
Okay.
I think that's huge right now with politics. Nothing new in the world of politics, but what's new is the constant angry voice that we just see 24/7.
Our last minute before we have to take a break. On the Democratic side, which of those two ladies do you see as the front runner and most likely to make the runoff against Arsenault?
Well, that hot seat right here. Stormy.
Really?
Stormy Gage Watch. She's had some, people come out and endorse her. Lots of people as of late, So if I had to
put your money on it now.
Well, but I'm not a betting girl.
Right.
I really respect Tammy Phelps.
Well, we will see. The race is on. It's kind of getting to be silly season. Grace Ann Blake is in studio. We have more with her coming up. I want to talk to you a little bit about flock cameras and policing and all that good stuff. And where's the parish money to help Shreveport police? We'll talk about that when we come back right here on KEEL.
And now, let's get back to the show with McCarty in the Morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. And on the KEEL app.
Again, because we're getting messages on the message board. I'm not going to say it like I did it before. Mike Martindale is no longer on the show. Okay?
We're all friends with Mike. We love Mike.
We love Mike. Talked to Mike at length yesterday. Mike's doing well. Mike has a new job. Mike is happy.
We're going to cut Mike's hair.
Very contented, yes. So he's doing great. He and I are going to go out and have lunch. So he's fine, and I don't kill him off. I killed him off again today, didn't I? Did I do that again?
Twice this week.
Oh, yeah. I said
Jeez.
Mike is no longer with us. Mike is with us. Mike is fine. He's alive and breathing and doing fine. Grace Ann Blake, National Night Out. Real quick, National Night Out is October 6th.
October the 6th.
It's not too early to start talking about this. Get your party registered. Get to know your neighbors.
Correct. Connected Neighbors is a protected neighborhood. And if there's anything that I've appreciated is the Neighborhood Watch, getting out and meeting people, sharing who your local officer is, your community liaison officer, your neighborhood association, who lives next door to you, who lives 3 blocks down from you.
Yes. And send me your addresses where you're having National Night Out parties, because I like to go out and crash them, especially if you're having ribs or steaks. I love to crash those parties. Those are good. Those are fun. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
And now let's get back to the show with McCarty in the Morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. And on the KEEL app.
Okay, we have Grace Ann Blake is in studio with me today. She's guest hosting. And I want to get your opinion on flock cameras. That some people are in the middle of the road on. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Some say it's an invasion of our privacy. Some say it helps us solve crime.
I'm going to lump a lot of this together. Data centers, AI, flock cameras. We are living right now in Tron world, or an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally 1982.
Right.
Is what we're, But, I grew up with people in the FBI and undercover narcotics agents. So I grew up around surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see this, I'm real middle of the road. These drones opportunity to really see what's going on, to have cameras, to see who's doing what, when they're doing it. I think that's very important. I do have concern on how and who is in control of this information.
Yes.
But if you come to my house, you're on camera. If you come to my business, you're on camera. And there have been car wrecks, things that have happened in front of my business, and my span of the scope of what's being recorded goes beyond my property.
Right.
Right. So I think that there's just big conversations to be had. I'm in support of law enforcement and making sure they have every tool. And if you've been a victim of crime, you want this.
Speaking of law enforcement having every tool they need,
yes.
There was a proposal before the Caddo Commission to provide some police cars for the city of Shreveport.
Right.
And then law enforcement agencies throughout the parish raised their hand and said, we want some money too.
Right. And I think this is where it's important to understand what our governance can do in our, different agencies. So the parish can't just write a check for $3 million. Are there needs across our parish? Yes. So growing up with law enforcement, I believe in supporting.
Why can't you write a check for $3 million? You give away cash to NGOs all the time.
Yeah, there's a whole process, and that really you have different buckets for what you can and can't do.
Okay.
So that's just across the board with state, federal, local, and different agencies. But something that this did bring out was that we have a lot of little towns and municipalities that really need help. Mm-hmm. And so that's an interesting conversation that, hey, the city of Shreveport has a budget and a plan. They already have police cars coming to them, and they're, a projected timeline of what they were doing. This, however, there are people that are in need. And so,
okay, I'm hearing you say, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Here's what I'm hearing you say, that the proposal from John Paul Young to buy however many patrol cars he wanted to buy for Shreveport police was just blowing smoke.
I will say we are in an election cycle. And
I'm still hearing you say he's just blowing smoke.
I said that on the horseshoe, Erin. I immediately was concerned on how that was written up. I've spoken out about resolutions and the importance of doing due diligence. I don't know anyone's personal heart where they're at, but I was taken aback. I immediately called the chief of police. I called the mayor. I called our administrator, say, hey, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. Because I knew that we couldn't just write a check. So,
But you've written checks for police cars before. Y'all have bought police cars before.
And I want to say it was 12. I don't quote me on the exact amount. I'm sure someone's going to text you and let you know the exact amount.
Absolutely, they'll know.
100%. So this would be setting such a huge precedent and a dangerous one that you can't just write checks for things and just go, here you go.
Well, that raises an interesting question for me.
But we can do projects that can help get tax revenue to help every.
Right. But it raises an interesting question for me. And I will say this to you because we all know there's a couple of things. Shreveport has issues. We have road issues. We have water issues. We have policing issues.
Let me point out,
and Shreveport has no money.
The largest bond in history and working on that.
But Shreveport does not have the budget you guys do.
Right.
You guys have a budget, a surplus. Y'all are in very good financial shape. Why can't we find a way for the two governmental entities to come together and say, you know what? Your roads do need help. You are part of the parish.
Well, we're having an intergovernmental meeting today at 11:15.
Let's discuss that. And so what can we help you with?
So I think that, the important thing about what has come from that was, what can we do? How can you better help, especially the smaller municipalities?
Okay. And you can look into whether it's legal or not to help fix the roads in Shreveport, help fix the water infrastructure.
Correct. I mean, I'm just going to agree to you that, these are conversations that we had. I can't answer that for you. But, we can't go out of the scope of what we're supposed to do.
Okay. So if you had to vote today to give the city of Shreveport some money, if you could find a way legally to help with the water infrastructure, would you vote to support something like that?
I'm a citizen of the city of Shreveport. And, I would be willing to, the conversation you had yesterday, to change some of the structure of billing to help with some of those issues.
Okay.
Through the city.
Right.
I'm not going to answer as like the parish should, write a check. I don't.
Okay. Do you support any?
That's such a big conversation.
Right. Would you support, and this is a big question.
Okay.
And I haven't briefed you on this at all. We really didn't plan any of these topics today because you and I know each other so well.
I have a list of things I did want to talk about, and we haven't talked about any of that.
Well, maybe I'll let you have one segment at the end. Are you in favor at all of any kind of combined government? Caddo Parish and Shreveport combined government, much like they do in Baton Rouge.
I think that it's important that the city of Shreveport work on their budgets and that the parish protect their funds to take care of large projects. I mean, the parish is over lots of municipalities, and the city of Shreveport is we'll just say a singular inside of. I would like there to be, and we have ways that we can help do small projects. But I think that's a really big conversation,
and that has
civics,
right?
And, so.
And it's a territorial thing. People don't want to give up, what they have, et cetera. I understand that. But there was $1.4 million in 2013 for law enforcement from the parish went to the city. So we did half of that.
If there was an emergency need, Erin, I think that there are ways that could happen if there was an emergency. But let me remind you, there already is a budget in place for these police cars. And so what was fleshed out was there's really a need for some body protection,
right?
And some other needs that there's a piece of equipment. I cannot remember the name of it.
Yes, that big, right.
And I'll tell you, in a time of crisis, that's what you need. We have cars, even if they're not
right. Okay, I'm going to let
at every home.
I'm going to let Grace Ann Blake control the show for the rest of the show. Right. Whatever's on her list, she gets to pick a topic.
Can I do it wearing my crown?
You can do it wearing your crown if you would like.
Okay.
You can pick the topic for our last segment before we leave. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now, more breaking news and trending talk with McCarty in the morning on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Back with my friend Grace Ann Blake, who's guest co-hosting today. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been fun.
I gave you this last segment, told you could pick the topic. What do we want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to share first, I am going to ride the Sport Tran automated bus. I mean, I fly and they're on autopilot.
Wow.
I do trust that. That type of technology. I want to talk about North Louisiana Technical Community College, formerly known as VOTEC, for those of us that graduated from VOTEC. They just celebrated their 90th year of educating people right here in Caddo Parish.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's huge. And I had the honor to be there as an elected official, but it was such an honor because I was a graduate and I've had such a beautiful career, and I now create careers because of that school. But I got to see them award Linda Bernanke basically a, hey, you've done a great job award. She graduated their drafting program there.
Holy cow, I did not know that.
Yep, because she couldn't, I think if I remember correctly, forgive me if I'm wrong, but she could not afford traditional college.
Wow.
Which a lot of us couldn't. I was in college and I chose to leave college and go to North Louisiana Technical Community College, formerly known as VOTEC. And she went there, and she is one of the most successful business owners in our community.
Yes.
I'm proud that it's a woman. She's doing great things in our community. And so, I just want to share that they have a $35 million facelift coming to them for the structure itself, but for the inside, bringing in programs, because so much wonderful, good things are happening for employment here and our outlook for this region, that we have to make sure that we have people trained in these vocational skills.
Isn't the VOTEC also getting a facelift or new buildings? Or isn't that on the way?
That's what it is. North Louisiana Technical College, Community College now, is having a facelift.
Wow.
So the structure, the bringing in the there are already amazing programs out there, but even more. So I just want people to know there are great things that have always been happening in our community, but man, our future is so bright for the whole state. We see SpaceX coming to Louisiana. That affects our whole entire state. Our government, our federal government, our state government, our local legislation have all been working hard to do great things to really make Louisiana a focus in our nation of growth.
We need to say, if you're listening and you have a child or grandchild that might not be college material, it just might not be in their realm.
Right, and I want you to say,
it's really got a lot
Erin,
of options.
I want to change that voice. You're saying it with like, oh my gosh, that's an okay thing.
Absolutely.
This is an important thing. Our plumbers, our electricians, our truck drivers,
our future hair salon owners.
Future hair salon owners.
Yes.
I mean, these are trades that are highly skilled, needed positions. So, and there's also, I believe, we're gonna see a lot of education coming for AI.
Yes.
And for like this whole next level of technology.
Absolutely. Grace Ann Blake, my friend, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I hope we'll do it again soon. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.